Did you know that the Median Empire was powerful enough to bring down the seemingly invincible Assyrian Empire, which had dominated the Near East for over 600 years? Yet today, the Medes are barely a blip on history's radar. How could a civilization that helped reshape the ancient world be all but erased from history? In this video, we're digging into the mystery of the Median Empire, a civilization that changed the course of empires but is practically unknown today. Let's dive into the lost story of the empire that time and historians almost forgot. For centuries, the Median Empire has been overshadowed by its successor, the Persian Empire. But let's rewind back to the 7th and 6th centuries BCE, when the Medes were a significant force, not a footnote. They helped bring down the fearsome Assyrian Empire, setting the stage for the Persians to rise to power. So why have we forgotten about them? Historians relied on the Greek writer Herodotus, often called the father of history, for early accounts of the Medes. His histories describe their political structures, alliances, and battles, casting the Medes as a crucial force in shaping the ancient Near East. But here's the catch. Herodotus's writings blend history with folklore, and they were written centuries after the events. Was he exaggerating the Medes' power, or was he recording something closer to myth? Herodotus claimed that King Cyaxares of Media was pivotal in overthrowing the Assyrians, a massive empire notorious for its military dominance. According to him, Cyaxares united the tribes, formed alliances with Babylon, and launched an assault that brought Nineveh, the Assyrian capital, to its knees. Herodotus also depicted Cyaxares as a strategic and ambitious ruler, while his successor, Astyages, was portrayed as a tyrant whose downfall paved the way for Cyrus the Great and the Persian Empire. But here's the twist. Some scholars believe Herodotus may have exaggerated or even fabricated elements of Median history. We have limited archaeological evidence to support a cohesive Median empire with centralized control. This lack of hard evidence raises a critical question. Did the Median Empire truly exist as a unified force, or was it more a coalition of tribes bound by mutual interest? Mark Van Darrow, a historian, challenges the entire notion of a Median empire. He argues that the Medes were less an empire and more a loosely connected network of tribes, lacking the formal government structures we typically associate with an empire. If this is true, then we may need to rethink our entire understanding of what defines an empire in ancient times. Van Darrow's theory has sparked debates that go beyond the Medes themselves, suggesting that our definitions of ancient empires might be too rigid. Archaeology should be the smoking gun to validate or debunk Herodotus's story, but here's where things get murky. Excavations in areas thought to be Median, like Ecbatana, modern Hamadan, have revealed intriguing artifacts, pottery, tools, even hints of trade routes. Yet, these finds lack the monumental architecture or centralized administrative evidence typical of empires like Assyria or Babylon. This scarcity of Median-specific artifacts could suggest they weren't a centralized empire, but rather a confederation of tribes or city-states. Yet, these Medes still managed to join forces with Babylon to take down Assyria, shifting the entire power structure of the Near East. It's as if history refuses to reveal the full story of who they were and how they managed such a feat. So, if the Medes weren't a traditional empire, what were they? Despite the ambiguity, the Medes left a significant cultural mark on the region. Their influence on early Persian art, burial practices, and even governance is evident. This cross-cultural exchange suggests that, whether centralized or not, the Medes contributed to the tapestry of Persian civilization that would later dominate the ancient world. Even without hard evidence of a powerful centralized state, the Medes' contributions to governance and culture impacted their Persian successors, shaping one of the greatest empires in history. It's as if the Medes laid down the first brushstrokes of a canvas that Persia would later complete. Why should we care about this ancient civilization's ambiguous legacy? Understanding the Medes forces us to question how history is recorded, remembered, and erased. Herodotus's tale, whether accurate or embellished, serves as a reminder of how much our understanding relies on fragmented narratives. History, it seems, is always a blend of what's known, what's inferred, and what's imagined. The Median story reminds us that history often favors empires that endure, overlooking those that set the stage but fade away. And it's a sobering reminder of how our current definitions of power, statehood, and civilization are shaped by limited perspectives and might be far more complex than we realize. The Medes may not have left us towering ruins or royal inscriptions, but they left us questions. Questions about the nature of empire, the reliability of historical records, and the stories that get lost over time. If this ancient empire had the power to topple Assyria and influence Persia, what else might be hidden in the sands of forgotten history? Thanks for joining us on this journey into the shadowy past. If you enjoyed uncovering this mystery with us, make sure to hit subscribe and let us know in the comments what other forgotten empires or civilizations you'd like to explore next. Until next time, keep questioning the history you thought you knew.